In this video, we're going to solve one of Tesla's biggest problems with the original Tesla Model 3s. As you've seen in previous videos, I've complained just a little bit about how this vehicle can be so hot in the summer in the sun. This roof glass, being all glass and not metal, lets in an incredible amount of heat. Even though there's other glass, it lets in a lot more heat. I'm going to show that through some testing, and then I'm going to provide a solution. And in that solution, I've been hesitant against getting for a couple reasons. We'll dive into that.
So first off here, we are going to test the vehicle on a 100-degree day and see how hot it is inside the vehicle. You can see the outside of the car is about 103 degrees. We'll get the car door open here and we'll hit the heat gun on the seat, and you can see it is so hot, about 145 degrees on the seat. And then testing the roof glass, we're getting 157 degrees on the roof glass. That glass is just letting all that heat in. So on the same day, about 20 minutes later, I hit the heat gun on my Ford Lightning. You can see the outside was pretty darn warm. On the seats, you get about 128 degrees, and then on the ceiling, I don't know, about 132 degrees. So you can see there's quite the difference on both being white vehicles on the same exact day, same exact temperature. The seats are at least 20 degrees warmer with the all-glass roof.
Here is that solution. Yes, very simple. Title may have been a little bit clickbait, but this is the solution. We've got reflection on this side, which will be the top. We've got the interior color to match on this side. Back when I got my first Tesla Model 3, these were pretty expensive, $100 or more. Anymore, you can get these from $30 to $50 on Amazon. These ones were more towards the $50. I wanted to match the interior color so it would look nice, and I also wanted something that would stay up. Some of the original roof cover I got for my Tesla Model 3 back in 2019, it wouldn't stay up very well if you rolled the windows down. So we're going to test. We're going to drive around with the windows down and see if these fall down. And then we're going to test today. It's going to be another 100-degree day. I'm going to come out here around 4 o'clock, just like I did in the previous test that you saw. And I'm going to hit the heat gun up here and see what the roof is, see what the seat temps are, see what the difference is. Okay, I'm going to try to have you guys follow along through the install. I gave 10 of these little clips. I'm going to put a few of these on. I also know that this is for the front because it says Model 3 front right there. So we're just going to get this installed. Pretty simple. These clips just do that. And you're seeing all this in real time. I didn't really prep anything in advance. Just wanted to show you guys. Hopefully you can see in here. Just like that, the front is installed, and then we will move to the rear. It looks like I hit the 4-way button, but it'll be all right. Really looks like it fits good. Interior color is really close. Look pretty nice. Now we're going to move to the rear install. Get some more of these clips out. So this is going to be rounded for the front, so at the back I think we're going to want a little more support. 2 here. So I think this rear one in my previous version was the one that was the least happy. And it looks like I'm installing these backwards. Easy to change, no problem. Hopefully these clips hold up. Have some UV resistance, temperature resistance. But yeah, it's pretty easy install. And we're in place. Yeah, so for the record, I don't have an Amazon link of any kind for these. I can show you that there's a bunch of options. This is one of the top rated, is why I went with it. I don't have any affiliation with this company, but just thought I'd show you a great way to improve these older Tesla Model 3s.
But yeah, here's my heat gun.
So now we're gonna let this sit up here and bake today. The sun's about to come out. It's gonna be about 100 degrees today, as I mentioned. Yesterday, as we saw, the roof was 158 degrees, the seats were about 147 degrees, so scorching hot. Let's see if we see any difference. Can't wait. All right, so before it gets super hot out, we're gonna go out this morning and we're gonna test and see how well these hold up with the windows down. So the windows are down right now. I'm going about 20 miles an hour. We're gonna speed up to at least 60 and see what that does. Like I mentioned, the previous windshield shields or roof shield, glass shields that I had, they would fall off, I don't know, at about 45, 50 miles an hour, and that made them really inconvenient. I'm hoping these ones do better. So you're going to see a test here. Right now we're at 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. We're going 60 miles an hour, and they don't seem to be moving at all. The back one is buffering, and I'm interested to see if that will fall down. So maybe we'll speed up here, see what happens. That's 70 miles an hour, and it's still staying in place. And as I mentioned, I do have a couple more clips. I only put 8 total on, and they gave me 10. So I could add a couple clips for stability in the back, but it looks like it's passing the test.
As I said, I don't have an Amazon affiliate link, but you can see on here which one I bought, and you can see that there's plenty others from $30 to say $60 that you can order. So there's lots of options, and you can read lots of reviews and buy whatever you want that fits your needs. And now's a really good time to note that you can actually use a different feature to help keep the interior temperature of your vehicle lower. On a Tesla, you can either go into the vehicle or into the app, and you can go into the climate settings and set cabin overheat protection on, both with and without AC. I found that without AC, it gets really hot still, so if you use with AC, it will keep your vehicle much cooler. You set it to about 90 or 100 degrees. I wish they actually had a higher setting, but pretty cool. And then the only downside of that is it uses a lot of your power. In my Tesla, I found that it uses about 5 to 10% of my battery per day. So what I want to do here is I actually want to dive into the math of that. So I actually used ChatGPT to help me do a little bit of ROI on the cost of a sun shield, like the one that I'm showing you in this video. All this math just goes to show at the end of the day, this will save me about $28 a year. So in just 2 years, if I want to keep the cabin cooler, it'll save me at least $28 each, so about $56 in 2 years, and this only cost me about $50. So it makes sense to buy one and to use this to block off the glass. Okay, I want to address this. Some people think that there's no real difference in between metal roofs and glass roofs, even though I showed kind of the side-by-side difference between my white Ford Lightning and my white Tesla on the same day, same temperatures, almost the same exact time. And you could see that there was quite a bit of a difference in temperature between the two. Still both very hot, don't get me wrong. But automotive glass is designed to let light in. The roof has some IR resistance on a Tesla, but as you see, still lets a lot of solar radiation into the cabin. That cabin then absorbs the temperature. As you saw, the seats were 147 degrees. That's what I put my back onto, and it was very warm. It kind of hurt a little bit, and in my half an hour commute home, it never really cooled off. Doing things like IR coatings, tinted glass, UV blocking layers, they all help, but it's still not the same. On a metal roof, you've got the metal, which is white on white vehicles. A dark roof might be a little warmer, like on a black car. But you've got your white roof, you've got insulation, you've got your headliner that acts as insulation, and it just does a significantly better job. A way we can try to cover this up a little bit, just like we're seeing, is to put basically a headliner in it. That's all that cover is. So you're reflecting some of that sunlight back, so hopefully it doesn't come in the cabin, and then insulating it with basically just a piece of cloth. But it does make a difference. How's my Brinkley? Huh? All right, so it's now time to do the test with the cover. It's about 100 degrees out, and as you can see, it's scorching. Seats are about 140 degrees, so still quite warm. And as we look at the roof, Yeah, it's at 160. It's scorching hot. This is not the result I was expecting, but here's a little surprising. The glass was hotter than the roof. So we went over to the Ford Lightning to test, as you see, still scorching hot. And as we test the seats, 132 instead of 140 on the Tesla, and the roof about 138. So still about 20 degrees cooler. I guess that extra insulation really helps. And as you can see, the black roof of the Model 3 is a lot warmer than both the glass and the hood. So I'm not going to lie, these weren't the exact results I was expecting. I was expecting the Model 3 to be much cooler with the shade. But as you can see, the black glass roof is just so much hotter. It'd be interesting to test a black sedan, a white sedan, and then a white Model 3 all side by side on the same hot day. I just don't have those 3 cars to do that test. But as you can see, I guess the extra insulation on the Ford Lightning keeps that interior much cooler. This is the same exact day. We're talking doing these tests seconds apart from each other. Yeah, the Model 3 is just really hot. So I titled this video fixing the worst problem with the Model 3 or something like that. This does help, but I'm surprised it didn't help as much as I thought. So hope you enjoyed the video and some of this testing. I don't regret getting that roof shield. It should help keep some of the UV from coming through, but it's still going to be hot for the foreseeable future. I'll probably run the cabin overheat protection, even though that uses quite a bit of the battery. Just hope with that extra purchase of the roof shade that maybe it uses a little less of the battery. But to protect the electronics, and hopefully those seats won't be 140 degrees when you sit on them, I'll run the cabin overheat protection and try to keep the interior a little cooler. So like and subscribe if you liked this video, and if not, sorry.